it's the most wonderful time of the year because we get to do the power rankings of the EuroLeague. And
When Gita starts singing at the start of the podcast, usually good things start happening. So
it will depend, though, on how extreme we were with our picks, looking at some names, some rosters, and new teams, and all of these things, and then deciding how these teams are gonna play in the EuroLeague. We are ranking them subjectively based on our understanding of how these teams will gel, how these teams will perform compared to last year,
and how they look at the moment.
Yeah.
In terms of this long journey
Yeah.
to the championship.
Yep.
It's not a prediction podcast. That's the main thing. We cannot predict some things, how they're going to gel, but at least right now, from what we see on paper, from some preseason games, in Augusta's case, for instance, or some from information, just from intuition.
and from vibes in my case.
Yeah, exactly. How do they look? How do they rank in this long journey to the title? How far they are from the title?
And we haven't just done it, three of us. There's also Rytis's opinion included in this power ranking. The way we're doing it, like we did with the Eurobasket, we're going to reveal it one by one. The screen behind me has all the picks locked in, and we'll go from bottom to top, from the 20th team to the first team. And since there were some teams that got an average score that was the same, for example, as you see, 17 and 18th, 9th and 10, 7 and 8, those are shared positions, and we'll reveal those two at the same time. So,
Can we before we reveal our 20th team, can we all agree that like our top 6 was the easiest, and then it was like just to me?
I don't think it matched number one because I know it didn't in some cases. So for me, top 6, I thought it was not difficult, but yes, top 6 was definitely easier than from 7 to.
Yeah, I mean,
from 7 to 15, I would say.
Even 15.
Yeah.
I have different categories. For me, it was
from 7 to 12 or 13th, something like that. But yeah, top 6. I'm not sure about the places we listed those teams on, but at least the clear core of the 6 best teams of the tournament.
The easiest for me was this 5, the last 5. The easiest was the worst teams, in my opinion.
I agree.
More or less.
The last 4, I would say.
And for me, the easiest team to predict was the last one, which is
Asvel.
Villeurbanne. Although it's 19.75, someone put them a bit up from the 20th place. You?
No.
I don't think so.
Rytis,
Maybe Rytis.
So that's our topic of the hour.
So I mean,
Villeurbanne.
It's just I'm just looking at the roster, and
I told Gitas in the previous podcast they have Alba Berlin vibes, where before the season you don't see many reasons to believe that they can be competitive. Mm-hmm. Okay, my only reason is Coach Peric Popper, who has done a tremendous job last year with the team that he had. We didn't expect them to be that competitive, but they were actually competitive with some games. And although we might be not confident with some names that they have, but who knows? I mean, Coach is the only hope to make them
but
interesting.
Is Coach here enough to actually make them compete for play-in?
Forget about play-in. Just like to be competitive in games.
To not be last in
not
the
to be a
EuroLeague.
5-33 team, I guess, you know. Just to be competitive in every game.
5-33, when you say those numbers, because we will have more games this season, 5-33 sounds brutal, rough.
But does it sound unbelievable?
No.
In Asvel's case, that's the thing. I mean,
what would you say with Asvel's 6.5 wins, over and under?
That's a fair one, actually.
Yeah, I think 6.5 is very accurate, by the way, because it's hard to say.
Because I was thinking about 6.
Yeah, I was thinking about also 6 wins total. So
you would say under, right?
Yeah, I would go under. But
okay,
yeah, that's a very nice over-under. And yeah, there's not many reasons to be excited about this team. A lot of veteran players, French players, and I don't know. The only exciting thing to see maybe some new faces in the EuroLeague. Armel Traoré, maybe. Glenn Watson Jr.
Melvin Ajinsa.
Ajinsa, yeah.
Who was drafted 51st last year.
So maybe, this team will be about which players can get some spotlight in a weak team and maybe join a better EuroLeague club next year.
Let's
But
go with the next team, I
that's
guess.
next.
I mean, we saw already Ajinsa last year, so maybe just taking a leap. 19th? I'll be like a Family Feud host. Oh, Baskonia at 19?
Vitoria,
Yeah.
Gasteiz. Yes. Oh, well,
From your action, we can see that you
This was my
listed
pick.
them
I
higher.
listed them higher, so
Okay.
but not much, like 17th.
Okay, so
But yeah, 19, surprising to me. I think Paolo Galbiati is an intriguing young coach. He did well last year in Trento. He's an analytics freak. He hates the floater. He had a lot of ball movement in Trento, a lot of early frees. So watch out for Marcus Howard comeback season. And but I just don't think they have enough to stay competitive while playing both EuroLeague with 38 games and ACB. And Marquise Nauel, actually, I wanted to see this guy for a long time in Europe. I think he's an interesting player. I'm not sure what's his current shape right now, but he's just an interesting guy. And I think Trent Forrest is also going to have a solid year statistically. But again, not enough to compete for a play-in.
Hamidou Diallo is also an interesting scoring threat, that's for sure. But they had some injuries already in the preseason, so it might... I mean, you mentioned they don't have a big depth on their team.
That's my biggest problem.
New
with
head
them.
coach, a lot of changes. I don't know, a lot of
Last
a lot
year's
of reasons to be
Baskonia-
His
concerned.
score is still injured. Rodion scored.
I'm not sure. But
Okay.
a lot of guys are questionable.
Yeah.
A lot of guys can miss the opener of the EuroLeague season. So, and most of these guys are from the front line, actually. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
They might be not as bad as we rank them, but
But we won't be surprised if they're
Let's say
actually 19th team of the tournament.
let's say this is the least hyped Baskonia version
In a very long time.
In a very long time, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they lost some key players, I think, and that's just,
They weren't that good last year
Yeah,
either.
they weren't
so-
good last
exactly,
year.
they were really bad last year.
But coaching wise, I think this is going to be an interesting team to watch, at least early. So
Hopefully,
let's see.
new coach will have trust and confidence from the front office, because if not, somehow, some way, Duško Ivanović will take over at some point of the season, even though he's coaching Virtus. But
Okay, who's next?
Let's not rule that out.
yeah.
Two teams we'll get now, and that is Virtus and Paris.
Wow, the disrespect to Paris, guys.
Okay. We'll talk about Paris next, but first Virtus Bologna. I like this Virtus better than last year's Virtus. I'm not gonna lie. Although you lose Shengelia, but I like the influx of young talent there. I like obviously the signing of Carson Edwards, who I think is gonna have a great season, like we discussed on our fantasy episode. We'll have much more shooting this year with Virtus, which was a problem for them last year. And just youth, energy. I don't know, like these things that they were
Salih
lacking.
Niang, the guy we loved so much from
Yeah.
the Eurobaskets. Even Smilagic, he's still considered as a young player. He will have plenty of opportunities. Derek Alston, intriguing
Jr.
newcomer from the ACB, one of the best players of the ACB last year. I like their approach. I like their rebuild. Not sure how it will end up. I mean, Duško Ivanović wasn't really successful starting the season, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Any insights on
Now, to me, they were 19th on my list. Apart from watching Niang in the EuroLeague, and I just don't know. I don't expect much from this team.
Let's talk about Paris then.
Yep.
Why you expect so much from them?
I actually have them making the play-in.
Sorry for my reaction,
Okay.
but I am surprised.
Remember last year we made the predictions? I said Paris are going to make the playoffs, and you kind of made the same.
Yeah,
reaction.
but last year was very different from this year. Very different.
I know you don't know the guy. Okay, I will say like this. Francesco Tabellini will be, again, just like Thiago Splitter, among the candidates for the coach of the year. You will be surprised that they will play probably even faster than last year, even if that sounds crazy because they played crazy fast already last year. But I saw a lot of Nimburg, and this coach is an extremely interesting one. They will create so much havoc to the opposing teams. I saw some friendlies. The other teams just don't know how to deal with their pressure full court, double teams everywhere. They're running like crazy. They're continuing the same trend, and just with a different coach that has some interesting wrinkles. His keyword is relentless. So this is going to be a relentless Paris team, and I think this is what's working in EuroLeague. And other teams are still playing the older basketball of slower. They are uncomfortable, and Justin Robinson is going to be having great numbers as well as their main guard. So I expect huge things, and people might call me crazy, but I think Paris is going to be high again.
I think this is an educated position you have, because you obviously watched much more than we have, or at least I have. I don't know about Donatas, but the doubts that we have are based on losing the core guys that made Paris great.
Yeah,
all the core guys essentially,
except
for a couple of names, and the coaching change and all that. Okay, maybe the style remains, which is nice, but even if the style remains, but you have 1, 2, 3,
9
4,
new
5,
players.
9 new players.
That's the main thing. It sounds good on paper. I cheer for Coach Stabilini. I cheer for those different mindsets. But we're talking about 9 new players, new head coach, and although his system worked in a lower level, we're talking about the EuroLeague, the 38 games with the new guys who didn't play together, who will need time to gel, who will need time to learn the EuroLeague as well. So I know that's my main thing. And even though we had this great team of Paris, like amazing team of Paris, they barely ended up in the play-in pool. They were like 1 or 2 wins away from not making the play-in. This EuroLeague is stronger. Yeah. And I don't think that this Paris team can match the greatness of the previous one. So, I mean, they can finish higher than 17th or 18th for sure. But play-in is a interesting statement.
They should take my reaction as motivation to, they don't care really. But you know what I mean? Like, people may be underestimating them a lot, like we are, but we'll see.
I'm overestimating them.
And maybe you are over. We'll see.
But that's
Only
a project to follow, for sure.
Yeah. The most fun team to watch again.
Okay.
Easy.
And the best platform to follow some great projects is EuroLeague TV platform, right?
To watch actually the most, let's say, the best way to get good quality
convenient, easy to handle.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, to me, it's the best streaming platform from all those basketball platforms I've used before.
I don't use, for example, the Lithuanian platforms that we have for EuroLeague, because first of all, I like English commentary for myself. I like to listen not to some interpretation by our Lithuanian guys, but to just neutral English, hypey commentary. Those guys are doing a great job, I think, and they actually improved over the years. Now they're even better. Some of the guys, Tim Long, you're gonna mention,
they're doing commentary from on site, so that's also giving a lot more to this EuroLeague TV broadcast. So. And it's so easy to watch from EuroLeague TV on smart TVs, on even modes. On Xbox.
You can do picture-in-picture. You can watch 2 games at the same time.
No ads,
types.
No nothing. Easy to handle. So I really personally love EuroLeague TV.
I do as well, and I think there's a discount that they offer, or
just some great EuroLeague TV annual pass offer, because you can save over 50% by choosing the annual pass on tv.euroleague.net. So if you want to enjoy, we're going to have a lot of games clashing each other. And to me, that's the best platform. The greatest thing that you can use it on your mobile phone, on your laptop, on TV. And it's so easy to handle all those things compared to some other platforms that we tend to use.
If you want to watch the games later, easy to find all the highlights, condensed versions of the games. Everything's like very convenient. EuroLeague TV.
Yeah, so get your annual pass at tveurleague.net and don't miss a single moment of action.
That's like an ad read.
Let's not miss who's 16th on our power ranking.
Valencia,
okay.
Valencia.
What is the reactions?
I had them higher.
Okay.
It's not like I had them 10th or in the plane like Augustus with Paris, but I had them higher because they have a continuity. They have this best young point guard who was hunted by a lot of EuroLeague powerhouses and Jean Montero. They have great coaching from Pedro Martinez. They're going to play in this new gym that I'm eager to visit and to experience. in the Roig Arena. So I don't know. I mean, to me, that's a team to watch. I'm not talking about Valencia as a serious threat to make the playoffs or whatever, but they're gonna be this interesting and sexy team because they play high-paced basketball.
Yeah.
They played that way in the Euro Cup as well, so they're gonna just be fun to watch.
I've heard this that even Coach Isalo, that is now in the NBA, a head coach, said that Pedro Martinez was one of the guys that he was looking up to. His high-paced style, made his style now of what it is. So I put them, I think, 15th as well, just because for one reason. They are playing super tough ACB, and EuroLeague will have 38 games, and it's just going to be difficult. You need really, really talented players, a lot of depth to actually make it in both leagues, and the performance in one or the other can really, just go down a little bit.
That's what I'm missing the most in Valencia. I probably put them at 16 because of individual talent and lack of it. I know there's a core. I know it's a nice team that gels. I know that names are not necessarily what plays basketball. It's not about what the name is on the jersey, but I just don't see enough of these deciders of games. I'm excited to see Jean Montero as well, but otherwise, the rest of the team I look at, nothing's giving me that much excitement and belief that this team will go far. So that's my position on Valencia. Can we move on to
just one thing. They're deep. They play this big rotation, so that might help them in handling the tough calendar, just as they did in the Euro Cup and the ACB last season.
Yeah.
But anyways, who's 15th?
I think I know. Oh, Bayern Munich.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I actually had them lower even.
I think I had them 16th.
I think like 19th or 18th.
Okay.
I just think no Rokas Jokubaitis, no party. And it's going to be tough for them. You had a interesting point, Gitas, behind the scenes. Xavier Ratten-Mays is going to be huge, I think, in this Bayern system, just as Carson Edwards was last year. But I'm just looking at this roster, and it's going to be tough for them. To be tough for them. I see them even lower than this 15th.
Really? I thought, of course, I'm putting a lot of hope in Xavier Ratten-Mays, but I'm also liking who they signed in addition to that. I'm feeling like this is like a last year's Baskonia type of a team. They got Kamar Baldwin, of course, and that's something, but then they got like a wing like Lucic, who's like Sedekerskis. They got Wenyan Gabriel, who's like Dante Hall, and they got a lot of interesting parts, I think. So
I like a lot of individual players like Isaiah Mike, Wenyan Gabriel, even McCormack. Xavier Ratten-Mays, I want to see him in a different role, but it's like betting on a lot of unfolded talent in the previous teams. Hopefully, it's gonna be a problem of fit in their previous teams, but it's also like they had big roster shakeup. I mean, we're talking about a team that lost Carson Edwards, Nick Weiler-Babb, Shabazz Neighbor, Devin Booker. I mean, we're talking about some crazy absences, and it might be not true, but I heard that last year they had a chance to invest more in their roster because of the new arena opening. So you have to build the hype, you have to sell the tickets to build the new culture in this new bigger gym. And I remember having a conversation where it was told like, do not be surprised if the next year they will have to reduce their expenses on some players because they were spending last year. And when you look at the roster and the way they build them, the roster. I mean, a lot of those guys were cut at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of free agency, basically. I mean, most of the guys that were signed. So I'm not saying it's bad. I trust Gordon Herbert. He proved himself on all levels so far, and I like those guys individually. But I mean, it might be a rough year.
After your arguments, maybe I would also consider swapping Valencia with Bayern. But I think this is a good range to be like.
I think
15, 16.
this team is 15 with Rokas Jokubaitis on the roster.
Okay.
I'll go this far.
Okay.
I love Gordy Herbert and his system, but I don't know. I really don't know
I
about
think
this
what
roster.
Donata said was very important. Like, this is hopefully the case of not the right roles for all these guys that were,
Yeah,
cut.
let's hope for. We need competitiveness in the EuroLeague.
What's next?
14th.
Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Definitely a better Maccabi than last year. Would you agree?
Oh yeah.
Because last year's Maccabi was what? Where did they finish? They finished in the similar position, but there were less teams.
Look, it will be
They were
fun to watch.
16th.
It will be fun to watch. Lonnie Walker was a shocking signing to me, going to Maccabi. But he will be, as I mentioned a couple of times already, one of the top scorers in the tournament, I think. They're going to be playing run and gun basketball, a lot of three-pointers, and they're bringing in a lot of NBA guys. So it's going to be a really fun team to watch early. And I think their range in the power ranking could be pretty wide, just because if all the signings pan out really well, they could contend for the play-in.
Let's say not in a power ranking, but in predictions, I guess.
Yeah,
that would be a
I agree.
assessment.
I agree.
yeah high upside team. Because, for instance, I was talking with some EuroLeague decision makers, and when they signed Jeff Doughton, who is a very interesting point guard, I was told that he can actually become even a better player than Carlik Jones. When they signed O'Shea Brissett, I was told that, sheesh, this guy is great. We were also chasing him. And I'm talking about some big EuroLeague teams. So the new GM, sports director, Claudio Caldabella, he's known for those NBA signings. He signed a lot of NBA guys before in Italy in teams that didn't play in the EuroLeague. So that's his style. There's always a lot of potential on his teams, a lot of upsides. And I mean, considering that they kept Jalen Horde, which was huge for them.
Absolutely.
There's Roman Sorkin, Tamir Blatt.
Tamir Blatt is there.
I mean, their upside is really intriguing.
I think they can fight for the play-in. I
wouldn't
really
be
do.
surprised.
I really do.
I wouldn't be surprised. Even Lonnie Walker, I mean, we used in Lithuania, we're biased. We thought that Lonnie Walker was quite a failure for Žalgiris because when he joined, Žalgiris results just dropped down because it felt like they were all trying to play for Lonnie Walker because he was trying to get back to the NBA. Now he has not an NBA exit clause during the season, so he's confident he have to do everything his best to be a good individual player and help his team win. So I think that we're going to see more, let's say, relaxed and in Lonnie Walker that will be in peace about himself for at least one season.
And I think the system that Katash plays in offense fits him much better. Yeah. More transition, more freeze, more movement. So
Jeff Doughton is a guy to watch. Really.
Absolutely.
Okay. Right.
13th. Dubai. Would you agree that Dubai is one of the most mysterious teams before the season?
Easily.
It's for me, it's between Hapoel and Dubai. Just because of so many new names on this
for
roster.
For Dubai, it's even worse because Hapoel, at least they have some sort of continuity. I mean, half of their team, they won the Euro Cup, so they kind of, winning helps. But yeah, a lot of, we're going to talk about Hapoel later. But Dubai is interesting. I remember one of the reactions of one of the EuroLeague, let's say, decision makers was, good luck to coach Jurica Golemac, And the conversation was about some...
Is it personalities?
Big personalities.
Yep.
John Busa, Dwayne Bacon, Filip Petrushev.
Bertans.
Bertans. I mean, a lot of personalities, but a lot of talent as well. And so far, I mean, I heard that Coach Golemac is actually, I wouldn't be surprised that we're gonna do this bold predictions podcast. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody throws his name as the first head coach that's going to be fired or whatsoever. And I believe that many of us don't treat him seriously, but I'm hearing a good positive feedback about Golemac. And some coaches get themselves too much under the pressure when they're in the situation like this, especially with coaches, free agents like Xavi Pascual, for instance. But I heard that he's calm, he's okay, he's confident. There were a lot of ups and downs in the preseason with the injuries, Raite, Musa, some guys joining late after the Eurobasket. But guys like Bacon are hooping. Kabengele so far looks promising. So we'll see. For sure, they're gonna need time. Too many new players.
Yeah.
A lot of personalities mashing together. So time is not on time is not on their side. They're gonna be a team that travels most. So
I like their backcourt talent. Having Alexa Avramovic back in the EuroLeague is really nice. There's some shooters there. Prepelic, Andjucic. There's Musa. Probably the star name there with Bacon as a forward. But the depth in the front line, that's where it gets really, really shallow. And I think that's why I rated them. I actually put them at 13. So
you mean depth at the center position?
Both actually, because you look at
Petrushev and
Petrushev will have to play the 5 now because you have Kabengele, sure, Kenan Kemanjas or Kamanias. I don't expect much from his input, and without Jaite, I think Petrushev will play some 5. Then you have only Davis Bertens at your
but
4.
They have Justin Anderson.
They do have Justin Anderson.
Abu Abbas when he gets healthy.
Exactly.
But Gitas, can you name Fenerbahce's center lineup?
Okay,
the one that won the EuroLeague
I know
last season.
I know.
I see your point. I agree with all your concerns.
You want to look for some areas where they look the weakest, and I think those are the ones.
Yeah.
That's...
Point guard selection is interesting, actually, because when you look at a lot of other teams, they were targeting star point guards. You cannot say that Dubai has a star point guard, but it feels like, Alexa Avramovic, McKinley Wright, Nate Mason, somebody else on that team. It brings me back of those like Jaren Grant memories. Like Jaren Grant, nobody saw him becoming a vital part of Panathinaikos, but him as a point guard, he sets the tone defensively. And I heard that, Alexa, McKinley Wright is also a tough guy. So that was an interesting approach, how to build a completely new team for the EuroLeague.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, point guard and center is the two most important positions in basketball, and yet all the main players, let's say for Dubai, is in the second, third, and fourth spots. I know Petrushev can play the 5 as well, but it just seems that the main guys of the team lie in those 3 positions. Let me guess who is in the 12th spot, and I think it's Žalgiris Kaunas there. Should be, right?
Wow.
Yep.
If I'm a neutral fan and I'm watching Žalgiris over Dubai, I'm like, these guys are so biased.
Maybe we are.
So prove them. Actually, why we ranked Žalgiris quite high? Can I say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Higher
based
than
on
Dubai
names,
or Maccabi?
Based on names, probably too high. But Augustus, I think you have the most expertise on Žalgiris, having broken down a little bit of their play. What do you think?
Watched their friendly games. You were commentating those, so
actually, we put them 12, but.
What are you thinking?
That's
before the start of the season. I'll be honest. Last year, I had more hope at the start of the season for the first couple of months than I have last year. I think this team is still far from finished their preseason. I think this team still needs more time, but this team definitely has more potential in the long term than the team that was there last year. And there are more pieces offensively, some really interesting names. Moses Wright is a high potential guy. You will finally have a true point guard on the team, Nigel Williams-Goss. You will have a secondary ball handler, Maodo Law. At the same time, Sylvain Francisco will have less of the usage, and is it going to be good for him? How he's going to fit in the new system? They still are learning all the details of Tomas Masiulis' system, who has been a long-time coach, assistant coach under Šarūnas Jasikevičius. So I don't know. I think they have a very wide range of where they can finish throughout the season. I think they're capable with this roster to be in the play-in, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they are lower than this.
I personally like everything Žalgiris done this offseason. I think they lacked stability at the guards positions at the one. So Nigel Williams-Goss is the most stable guy I can think of.
Injury question with him, but
they replaced Brian Dunstan with Moses Wright. Don't need to comment here much, I think.
Injury question again.
The
alert is even higher.
Okay, then they replaced Smilagic with Tubalis, which is, you got a young Lithuanian, talented Lithuanian who had a great Eurobasket, I think, an improvement again. Dustin Sleva replaces Brady Manick. An improvement already from what I've seen from his energy, from just confidence, everything. He can shoot, he can rebound, he can score points. Great guy, energy guy. And another thing I didn't mention, you got a second year for guys like David Servidis, who I expect to be even better this year. A second year in this Žalgiris for Francisco, for Brazdeikis now, he's getting into rhythm. I just think the team got better and the coaching got better. And I expect this to be an overperformer. That's why they're 12th and not 15th or 16th.
Yeah, when you watch Žalgiris, you see better ball movements and, let's say, playing through matchups. For instance, Nigel Williams-Goss, you feel confident when he's on the floor, and the ball movement really improves with him compared to Sylvain Francisco. Maybe it is going to help Cisco as well. Masiulis is trying to play with Ulanovas at the small forward position. Brazdeikis is playing also more on the blow post like Ulanovas. Moses Wright brings you more weapons, and this is the coach who will use every weapon. He's the assistant of Šarūnas Jasikevičius, who made his career on a philosophy that was based on mismatches and matchups. So Masiulis will follow his path, and at the same time, there are no, normal question marks. He's the new head coach, starting. Let's say he only coached before Žalgiris youth team as a head coach. He didn't have his full squad yet before the season because of the Eurobasket. They missed 5 guys. So the new coach, completely new philosophy, a lot of players, a lot of newcomers, no time for preparation. And usually for teams like Žalgiris, it's so important to start on a high note, to win as many games as possible.
Exactly.
While guys like Olympiacos, Panathinaikos, sleeping, waking up, and at some point they start playing their quality basketball in the second half of the season. So teams like Žalgiris and Paris, like last year, you have to win as many games as possible to try to make the playoffs. The start for this Žalgiris team might be really difficult given all the circumstances I mentioned.
And the schedule.
Schedule is hard.
A lot of away games, a lot of good teams there.
You start the season playing Monaco away
and Fener at
and
home.
Fener at home.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that's my question as well. Coach's authority. He's a new coach, and players know his experience, but you start believing in a coach more and in the system that he brings when you start winning. And if you start by losing because of all the reasons you just mentioned, that's when it becomes tricky. So I hope Žalgiris avoids that.
And hopefully guys like Maudolo, who I was actually surprised how vocal he was for German national team, Nigel Williams-Goss, I have a feeling that they might help Coach Masiulis because they're experienced players, Lithuanians like Edgaras Ulavanovas. They might help him to get that confidence and trust in the locker room, even when things don't go well. So,
and also, let's say the characters are good, like the people, the personnel, they're good guys. So you usually need strict hand when you need some characters to be managed. With these guys, I think that's not going to be a big of a issue. Who's next?
We are getting closer to play-in. Okay.
Olimpia Milano just outside of the play-in picture in our combined ranking. But did any of you guys had them in the top 10?
I had them in the top 10.
Yeah?
I didn't.
I had them 11th, actually. Exactly. All the reasons, I don't know, we got to repeat ourselves for 3 or 4 years in a row. But of course, we'll talk about their additions. They're great additions, and they looked pretty good last year compared to before. They have added Marko Guduric and Lorenzo Brown, probably what's going to make the difference, I think, in this team. You get some ball handlers who can both create for
better
others
ball
and for yourself.
handling, better creation, more experience in this crucial aspect of the game. And it feels like that was the direction of the team in the offseason to improve that area specifically. Because when you look at the other part of the team, I mean, I love Zach Ledee as my foreman.
Yep.
I mean, if Milan is in top 10 or in the top 8, I think that means that Zach Ledee is all EuroLeague player. The way he played last year, even next to Nikola Mirotic, was crazy, was huge. And we saw him continuing on staying in shape, like the difference we saw the last season. So I expect him to be great. Josh Nebo, everyone probably expects him to be healthy. And if he's healthy, he's good. So with Lorenzo, I hope it was the matter of fit in Panathinaikos. And although in Maccabi in his last year, you could see some points of decline because of age, etc. But I think that with all the tools like Marko Guduric, they might be a solid team.
Got depth as well. I mean, yeah.
Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Oh, Devin Booker.
As
We
a
forgot
backup
about
center.
Devin Booker.
I mean, last year, Josh Nebo was out basically for the entire year. They didn't have a really, backup at the center position. They played Mirotic and Ledee at the same time. And to me, the biggest question of this team is just injuries. Can they stay healthy? They could not stay healthy for the last 3 years, I think. Constant injuries, missing like 3-4 key guys at the same time throughout the season. If this team can stay healthy, I think they get into the play-in in the top 10 in the regular season. But I don't know. The track record for those injuries are just not good in the last couple of years. I'm not sure why. Hoping they can finally, play with the roster that they get during the summer for most of the time.
And maybe this year they will play under less pressure because it's actually unofficially the last dance of Petra Messina at the head coach position, because the assistant coach that they hired, Giuseppe Poeta, is about to take over after one season. And when you see the way they build the roster, when you hear what was their philosophy, they weren't trying to make any blockbuster moves. They didn't try to rebuild the roster to put some crazy names to win something, but they're gonna try to build piece by piece moving forward. So it's going to be a good chance for Giuseppe Poeta to feel his new team in future better. And we'll see. Maybe it will help. Of course, everything is on the health. Like, if they have any issues, I mean, it's going to be a tough year.
Why I mentioned depth is because they do have one of the longest lists of players in the whole of the EuroLeague with a couple of more teams. That's why I said that's important for a team like that because of the injuries. And I like this team. I actually like them much more than I have.
To me, they're more balanced than they were before.
Okay, so play-in territory, number 9 and number 10 on the board.
Red Star and Hapoel.
Zvezda and Tel Aviv Hapoel.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Damn, Partizan is so high?
I put Zvezda over Partizan in mine. But
me too.
Yeah. Then someone had to put Partizan pretty high. Then
I had them 8th, I think.
Who?
Partizan.
You had
Partizan.
8th or 9th, or I'm not so sure.
Okay.
Let me check.
I had Partizan.
Zvezda was put down by our fellow Rytis. Zvezda is behind Žalgiris in Rytis' eyes, so that's why.
Maybe he watched the preseason of Red Star.
Which you said there's alarming signs. How they playing is not looking good, or
first of all, I have not seen all the Zvezda's friendly games. I've just seen bits of it, but preseason is quite alarming. I know they missed some guys there, but once again, they have a pretty deep roster. But once again, I'm not sure about the balance between those guys. Just shooting probably might be my number one issue. At the same time, Joel Bolomboy will be not playing for a long time to start the season. He was super important there. And I like their signings, Graham and Tyson Carter, but they have to fit in the new environment. And I'm not sure. Something haven't clicked in the preseason. And you mentioned how Paris are a completely new team with all the new players, but Paris just bulldozed them with their energy and aggressiveness, beat them by 20 plus points in a friendly game. and you look at the names on the paper by Paris and the names on the paper by Crvena Zvezda, and it's, you know, for a lot of guys, who are these players on Paris team?
But that's the thing with of course, Paris is also quite a new team, but you know, for Zvezda they did make quite a few big changes. Nedovic was a big part of their team for a while. Petrusha was very important last year, and now you're changing your philosophy a little bit. For Sfairopoulos, he needs to find who are the new leaders. Of course, you still got Cody Miller-McIntyre at the point, who's your main guy as a backcourt guy. But then you have this Devontae Graham next to him now, who's you know, you're expecting some things from him. But you also now have Chima Moneke, who you have to give touches, because that's when he's good, when he has the ball, and when he's active and he's involved in the play. So I think for a team like this, it's about getting, you know, further into the season and getting into form later. How they look right now, I just wouldn't be too concerned about that.
It is true. I agree with you. It's just preseason, and it's 38 games in the regular season. But I think they can really be a really great defensive team, but I just miss some shooting as well. Once again, it is clear to me that, you know, for the last couple of summers, the guys who are constructing Crvena Zvezda and the way I just, you know, construct a team are two completely different philosophies. But they have a lot of talent on this roster. They can definitely make it work.
I remember I had conversation with Coach Sfairopoulos in summer in B8 Summit camp organized by Benas Matkevičius. And he said that we didn't want to repeat the same mistake. And he emphasized 3 surgeries that they had last year and kind of lack of depth to compensate some of the absences that they had. And he mentioned he wanted his team to fight harder. And what he also followed with was trying to build a team that would be bigger in terms of size, faster, stronger, and the one that would meet the standard of today's basketball. And since they were preparing for a 38-game marathon, the depth was a big thing, and also, you know, physicality, athleticism of the players that might help them to keep up with the crazy schedule that EuroLeague and ABA League will also offer to them. So that was the main emphasis of him. And when you look at the roster, the guys like Moneke, Ojile, Kalinic, even perimeter players, they're huge perimeter players with Nora, Tyson Carter. I mean, that's a bigger Red Star team that we're gonna see for sure.
Shooting. They made 22% of threes.
And Hapoel?
Hapoel, to me, with Dubai, one of the biggest mysteries. So many new players. All the new players are...
Wait, we didn't even talk about Hapoel, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
sorry, guys.
Oh,
yeah.
So, but they tied for the 9th.
Yeah. So I had them even like number 7, but I didn't really know where to put them. I see all the talent on paper. Is it going to mesh? Is it going to gel? A lot of questions here. To me, they're really like a mystery box that you can order online. And they are a really expensive mystery box. But, you know, you have so much talent in there. And
it's weird because on the mystery box, it actually says there's going to be Vasilija Micic in this team. But what Vasilija Micic in this team you'll get? You know, like, this is the problem.
Yeah, but even without that, you have Chris Jones, you have Yamadar, you have Blakeney, who is a really great player.
Wow, they're point guards.
Elijah Bryant, you have Colin Malcolm, you have Bruno Caboclo, I think is still there, right? Mm-hmm. You have Dano Turu, Motley, Wainwright, you know, the local guys. Tyler Ennis, I think, is there as well.
Yeah.
So it's just a crazy talented roster that you have there. And it's Dimitris Tudis' job.
Tudis knows the EuroLeague as well. So
to make it work. If it clicks, we are talking about a really serious team here. But yeah, it's a new team, and that's also a question mark at the same time. So
there's obviously an even bigger question mark due to participation of Israeli teams in the EuroLeague in the first place. That's just a question that is out there. We can't ignore it, and we'll see.
But it's not really for EuroLeague to decide, right? It's
it is for EuroLeague to follow.
Yeah, to follow. That's the thing. To follow.
But yeah, besides that, yeah, I just was astonished by, we have a transfer market news article, and you just look at the guards, and there's about a full team of guards, just like 10 guards in this team, which the depth is insane. Of course, not everyone's going to play.
Who do we have tied for seventh?
Seventh and eighth is going to be Partizan and Barcelona.
I did not expect to see Partizan this high.
I also didn't.
I'll admit it.
But
I'm not surprised because, as you mentioned, from 7th to maybe 12th, because I saw Dubai higher than Žalgiris. To me, it was like
actually, guys,
very debatable.
For fairness, I'll give you exact numbers of these teams so we understand the differences, right? So Milano was on average 10.5. So they are 11th. But then from 10 to 7, so Hapoel Tel Aviv and Zvezda is 9 on average. And Partizan and Barcelona is 8.75.
Oh,
so 0.25 difference.
0.25
Barca
difference?
being 7th and Hapoel being 10th, basically.
Because for me, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I had Zvezda at 9 and Partizan at 10. And you guys had it somehow different, so it all... And I had the Hapoel higher. So I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, it's very close. Between these four, it's actually the most close that we get in all of the power ranking. So now we start with Partizan Belgrade. I said that I like this team. When you look at the names, I really like who they added with Jabari Parker and Sheikh Milton. Just... individual talent-wise, it's just nice additions to what they already had. Although last year they were not very convincing and stable, even though we had all this potential talk, defensive potential. Obviously, Carlik Jones' potential to debut in the EuroLeague, the way he played in the Olympics, We had a lot of potential talk, but it never materialized into something like a concrete results that,
At the same time, we had those question marks about the scorers next to Carlik Jones and the foreman. And when you look at their offseason, they brought Sheikh Milton, who many decision makers in the EuroLeague see as a sleeper pick for potentially MVP race candidate for the next season if things unfold well. And they brought Jabari Parker, who had a great season in Barcelona and who significantly improves their forward position. You have Isaac Bonga, who almost signed an NBA contract during the Eurobasket performance. Carlik Jones, playing second year in Belgrade. That should help. So, I don't know.
What about Ossetkovsky? I didn't watch Unicaja, but... What's your impression about him? Like, that's another addition at the forward spot. Do you guys have anything?
4th, 5th. He's in the lineup, in the front line rotation.
Yeah,
he can shoot. He can stretch the floor.
Just does little things well, and you just need a solid guy that is going to do things right. I would say it like this: if you're not the main big in the front court, you don't need to do a lot of things. You just need to do play great defense and do little things well. He does that. The biggest question to me, I like the addition of Sheikh Milton. I think, second year of Dwayne Washington can be a way better player than he was last year. The biggest question to me for Partizan is the center.
Of course.
They need a center.
You said 4th or 5th guy in the rotation, but
because
at
the
moment,
a center.
Okay.
I mean,
they for sure are looking for one.
Yeah, that's the thing. And the thing is that Frank Ntilikina is on his way to Olympiacos, which means Partizan will have even more money for the center addition. The problem is that they couldn't sign some, let's say, higher priced players. Some of them ended up signing in the NBA. And at first, their idea was when Ntilikina stayed, because he was super close to go to Monaco, but he decided to stay in Partizan at the very last moment by reducing his salary. Now he's probably gone to Olympiacos, and Partizan already saved some money for the center position by keeping Ntilikina on a lower salary. And now, by getting a buyout, of course, they need to sign another guard. But at the same time, they might have more money for the center position. So, of course, it depends a lot of who are they bringing. But
even at the 4 position, you got Jabari Parker, sure, but then Pokuševski last year was a disappointment.
Yeah,
let's
but you
admit it.
have Osetkowski and Isaac Bonga can play as a four-man.
Yeah.
If you play smaller rotation like Milton, Sterling Brown, Curly
Sterling
Jones,
Brown plays a lot of the
perimeter.
three. Yeah, you're right.
So-
You're right. Yeah, I mean, this team is definitely going to be one of those exciting teams, like we said in our preview of the most exciting teams. I always like to watch Željko's teams, and I like to watch the individual talent of this
And
team.
Željko needs time. You remember every first season, even with KP and Zach Lidé, was a tough one. Second one, we saw the potential.
Almost Final Four. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and Barcelona next. So Barca, where do we start with Barca? So
they brought Shengelia, Clyburn. They kept all the center lineup. Vesely,
they're rebuilding
Gomez,
the
Yusuf Afal.
CSKA
La Provitola is
front
returning.
line. Clyburn, Shengelia, remember?
Yeah.
And Moscow. That used to be the two players.
So La Provitola is coming back. Satransky stayed. Kevin Punter stayed. Brizuela is going to have a bigger role. I don't know. I mean, their idea was that we were one shot away from the Final Four. Now we have to stay healthy. That's first. And second of all, we still need to keep the experience level high, some leadership from guys like Shengelia. And Shengelia played with Clyburn and Virtus and in Moscow. If he had some bad memories or bad influences by Will Clyburn as a player on the court and off the floor, I wouldn't see him coming. But he's there, so that means he was green lighted and he can add something, maybe compensate Jabari Parker's scoring ability from last season. And they have some, wild card, let's say,
Miles Norris?
Newcomers like Miles Scales, Morris. I mean, some interesting guys. So
I like their front line much better. With even though Jabari Parker was great, I thought they lacked defensively. To have someone like Shengelia for me, I really like because he can be that mobile big and can have influence defensively and rebounding and all that. So like a bigger, tougher body, and especially with Willie Hernangomez, who wasn't really getting to play whatsoever, and then you only had Jan Vesely and a lot of injuries as well, like you said. So I just like what they've done, and I like this team. What do you think? Actually, La Provitola, another thing you probably mentioned that, we got to remember they lost one of their main guys with the ball very early.
I'll be short. Not a big fan of Barca. Just their stuff. Just I don't know. Nothing personal. It's just I'm not a big fan of watching this team.
I'm not either, but this doesn't mean that they won't be in that top 10,
Exactly. But just point guard and center positions to me, I think they needed to improve that.
Actually, that was what we were talking about. That's why they're not interesting to watch. But
they're going to win and they're going to be in the top 10. So it doesn't really matter if we like it or not.
We spoke about Satoransky a few times, and I tried to understand what they like so much about Satoransky. So I heard that, we might be kind of overlooking his impact off the floor. He doesn't require the spotlight. He can adapt playing well to the other star players, ball handlers. He glues with a lot of different lineups, and he has the right leadership in the locker room, and that's what Barca people admire. And they thought that he's the right, let's say, connector in pick and roll action, for instance, with their bigs and with the scores that they have next to him, like Punter and numbers.
Exactly. At the shooting guard, you have Punter, La Provitola, and Brizuela. You need a guy who can handle the ball and play defense.
And he can guard multiple positions because of his size.
That helps hugely as well. He's not a liability defensively, so it's easy to see. Number 6 on the board. I'm like Steve Harvey today.
Efes.
Anadolu Efes.
A jump, really, from last season, I think, in terms of power rankings, for sure.
Everyone had them 6th.
I had them
as well. 5th, actually, I think.
I had them 6th.
I had them 6th as well. But they have a super solid roster coming into the season. I'm really excited to see how this team is going to work. So many pieces. Larkin, Weiler-Babb, Cordinia, Beaubois coming back from injury. Seamus Hazer, right, as well. You have PJ Dozier. They just added Jordan Lloyd. They added Cole Swider, a great shooter from from the NBA. You have Roland Schmitz at the same position. You have Osmani, who was playing great for the
Kai
Turkish national
Jones, the
team.
newcomer. Yeah.
Kai Jones. There is Papagiannis as well, right? And the only thing is
Poirier
that Poirier
is out,
is out. But this roster looks so stacked and super interesting, and a new coach there to make things work. That might be tricky to start the season, but
this is what now I'll say something.
Okay. The floor is yours.
So you said a stacked roster, all of that, right? But that's what Igor Kokoshkov had in his EuroLeague debut, I believe, with Fenerbahce 4 years ago or 5 years ago, when he had Lorenzo Brown, Marco Guduric, Nando De Colo, Bobby Dixon was still playing. He had Joel Eddy. He had a lot of great talented players. There was Leo Westerman in this team. Ulanovas, Deshaun Pierre. No, I'm just
sorry.
I'm just
Really funny that you mentioned really talented players and then you mentioned
I'm just listing some players of
okay, he was actually played a great season before moving to
Yeah, actually, he signed because he was playing a great season.
It was the year that I think. No, it was probably
but anyways,
not that year.
The roster was great, right? Doesn't matter. Not relevant, probably as much as what I'm trying to say.
So
are you gonna manage all this talent and all this, and is it gonna be a successful winning team? Because that didn't happen in Istanbul on the other side of the the yellow side of Istanbul. It didn't happen, and I just thought when Kokoshkov was there, we were disappointed in his coaching decisions. So that's all I'm saying.
He also had quite a tough Serbian national team experience the same year, I think. Maybe it didn't help. I mean, sitting on 2 seats, maybe that was tough task for him. But Kokoshkov is widely admired for his offensive concepts, offensive systems, and now he has a lot of ball handlers, creators, a lot of talent. So he's the guy that you can trust in trying to handle all those offensive weapons. That was at least FSID. And I'm still halfway my GM survey. Not every GM filled the survey already, but the only teams that received multiple votes for the Final Four prediction were obviously Pana, Olympiacos, Fenerbahce, Real Madrid, and Efes. Efes.
That's why I had them fifth.
40%. We're on 40% of the ballots for the Final Four.
Yeah.
So
no Monaco.
No Monaco.
Oh, really?
Not yet. Not yet. It's not finished. It's not concluded, but no Monaco, which was interesting.
This is insane.
Monaco GM hasn't responded. Huh?
We'll talk about it a bit later. But yeah, Efes, like you said, a lot of great guys, great players there, and talented guys. So only question mark I said is Kokoshkov for me, but that's only based on track record of what I've seen of his work in Europe or FIBA basketball.
That's a fair point. I mean,
Number 5
is a big thing.
Number 5 is going to be Real Madrid, I believe. Must be, yeah. I had them 6th, but you guys...
I had them 4th.
Wow, okay.
I had them 5th, I think.
What is better this year than last year? They signed Theo Maledon, right?
They just have more talent. I mean,
they're deep in every position, and they're still one signing away. I mean, they can still improve their perimeter.
If you remember last season, it started with Madrid's coach saying that in September we need more guys. He didn't really get any more guys.
Yeah,
and then he was fired. So now you have Theo Maledon, you have Kramer, a great shooter. You have Chuma Okeke, Trey Lyles. You have all these centers in their rotation. So just more talent and depth there. And, when you have Campazzo there still running the show, it will be easier for him to run the show. But it's going to be different. Now it's a different coach there.
New system.
And it's a new system. How the roles are going to look like. Which players are going to be happy, maybe, which not. But
that's what I think is one of the bigger changes. Is you had a lot of egos in the team before. Now some of them have, well, Janan Musa is out. I saw Janan Musa, Hazonia vibes weird during the game sometimes between them.
Between them together, or like between them and others?
I don't know, between them and the coach, or between just, you look at the bench, everyone's, I don't know.
Body language was horrible.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to be an improvement, because when a new coach comes in, everyone needs to show why they need to play here and not the other guy. But yeah, I think it's going to be good.
New culture, more responsibility, more discipline. Everyone will try to be better, let's say, for the new sheriff in town if they want to play. Scariolo is known for big rotations, for a lot of minute distribution, so you cannot expect anybody to play many minutes, but everyone will have a chance to prove themselves. And so far, I've heard only good things. Preseason was going well, and especially, although guys like Trey Lyles and Chuma Okeke and the whole picture of the EuroLeague offseason look like quite underrated signings. They didn't make such a big noise. But, I mean, every one of them so far, they've been good. Guy like Chuma Okeke, he's a Nigel Hayes-Davis type of a player. Okay, Nigel Hayes-Davis in his last year, he was the MVP because he was also scoring as crazy in big games. Probably you cannot expect that from Chuma Okeke in the beginning, but I heard that people call him second Jeffrey Taylor, just bigger size, because he defends really well and he shoots all the threes from the corners. Trey Lyles, he's a big threat both beyond the arc and also in the low post, so he brings more weapons to the head coach. Mario Hazonia might be in the more polished leader role, and if he wants to make the jump to the NBA, he also might take this as a challenge. So the preseason was solid. Sergio Scariolo is building his new culture, and I think that we're gonna see a different Real Madrid team next season. And I think, Augustus put them fourth in his power ranking, but when you hear this conversation among the fans, who's going to win? Now it's going to be Pana. There's no way that Fener will defend the title. Maybe it's Oli, yada, yada. I think it's a bit underrated. I mean, I think people forgot how good Real Madrid is.
Yeah, for sure.
And how dangerous there are in this title chase.
100%. Okay, next up. It is the reigning, defending champions of European basketball.
Do you have
EuroLeague.
a song for them?
Need to learn their anthem or something. Well, probably, I don't know where to start. They lost a very significant piece is where we start, right? Probably.
MVP. Nigel Hayes-Davis.
Finals
Marko
MVP.
Guduric, who was clutch in big games during the season and who was a glue guy, the way he plays and acts off the floor. What else?
They lost a key piece to their final run, a co-host of this podcast.
Eric McCollum.
Yeah. I'm mad
Did they have
about that to this day, really.
But was it more of Eric's choice or their choice? Was it because were they like, okay, this is our replacement for this amount of time and that's it?
They decided to keep Scottie Wilbekin and they picked him over Eric McCollum. It kind of makes sense.
Well, that makes sense.
If you keep Wilbekin, you don't need to keep Eric McCollum. But as a co-host of Eric McCollum, I would have played with Eric McCollum.
But at the same time, we say what they
Scottie
lost.
is a Turkish player. He's considered as a Turkish player, so that makes sense.
We say who they lost. We gotta say who they gained. And of course, first of all, Scottie Wilbekin will be healthy. Number one thing. Hopefully for the whole season, right? Because he fell out in the very first game of last season. But they added Taylor Horton-Tucker. You talked about him having superstar potential in this league because of his skill set, because of his body.
Yeah. That's what the EuroLeague decision makers think. He has all the tools to be great.
Yeah. Then Mika Jantunen, an addition in that spot for Nigel Hayes-Davis, I guess, to play the four. Bigger names. Brandon Boston.
Another huge upside player.
Upside is big, yep. And then you obviously keep all your main guys of that core that won the EuroLeague. Devon Hall was great last year. We saw that side of Devon Hall that we hadn't seen because of the situations, perhaps, right? Tarek Biberovic has grown a lot, really, and I think he's gonna keep growing. Who else you want to talk about?
Has to step up. And it's hard to fill Nigel Hayes-Davis' shoes, but Tariq Biberovic and Bonzi Colson will get more responsibilities next year.
Wade Baldwin, I haven't mentioned
Wade
for some
Baldwin is
reason.
healthy to start the
Yeah.
season. Big difference from the last year. And now, he believes in the system. He believes in coach. There's a good bond between them, continuity. I mean, Fenerbahce couldn't sign some top-rated free agents in the market because they didn't have that budget to compete, but they chose the other path to get some NBA talent. So they're taking those risks with a lot of NBA upside potential. But at the same time, I don't know, it's going to be fun to watch them.
Donatas, if we remember Šarūnas Jaskevičius' ability to scout players and get, even with a very smaller budget, to get players from the other side of the Atlantic who perform in the EuroLeague, he has a very good eye. And I think since he had the choice here, I think...
I'm just not sure about the track record of the
Skylar
straight
Mays
from the NBA to Europe.
Skylar Mays would like to have a conversation with you.
So
sometimes you miss, of course, but
that's the main thing. It's not
he
about
brought some
missing.
of these stars like that we are talking household names that we are talking about now. Of course, yeah, a lot of them were actually from Europe.
Playing in Europe.
They were playing from
that's
Europe.
the main thing.
Yeah,
so that's
right.
one of the biggest question marks.
I didn't think
Shara's
about that,
handling
sorry.
guys who came straight from the NBA with a lot of expectations. Guys like Boston, Taylor Horton Tucker. I mean, they have huge expectations on their role.
You're right.
And when you see the lineups, it's not like they're going to sound like the main guys in their positions. There's Wade Baldwin in town, Devin Hall, he was clutch in the Final Four. Scottie Wilbekin coming back. So how he's going to handle the locker
I think
room,
when
that's
you're
going to be fun
champions,
to watch.
like you said, you just trust the idea, trust the team a bit more. Maybe egos are going to go to the side, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Who's third? Olympiacos. Actually, guys, before we talk about them, someone put them really low. Someone put them sixth, I think.
I have them fifth.
Fifth?
Okay.
Okay, fifth. Oh, yeah. So it was you. Yeah. I thought someone put them pretty low.
Yeah, my Govrosol status took a hit after this, but...
So how do you
what
see
happened,
them?
Gavrosol?
They need a guard. They just need a guard.
And Ntilikina is not the guard you're looking for, right?
I was
What
looking,
is about?
I was looking more for a creator than a defensive-minded guard. You already have Thomas Walkup, and Keenan Evans is injured again. How long he's missing?
Is there an answer to that?
Maybe 2 weeks.
It's not a serious injury, but
It hurts.
it hurts. He's still
Again, you're getting into rhythm, into form, injury.
The plan was to get him into the rhythm for a starting point guard role. The 6 preseason games he played just once, and he got injured. It's a different injury. I don't think it's related to the injuries he had, but still,
So unlucky, man.
He might miss the EuroLeague season opener, and then to regain the rhythm in this crazy schedule, it's not the easiest task. So I feel so bad for Keenan, actually.
Okay,
I like the addition of Tyson Ward. I really do. But yeah, I don't think you should have really counted on Keenan Evans before the season that much as I wish him.
Because
I
of
don't know,
the-
I like the way they trusted the guy, the confidence they showed, because I think he's worth this trust. His health status is not necessarily worth that trust.
If we are deciding to trust a guy on just how likable he is,
Not likable,
It's not
man.
likable.
It's about-
He's been great practicing with the team 5-on-5 last season, and he came to this team to be the guy, actually. He was signed, of course, before he got injured. He was signed for that role, and it's not like the market was full of crazy point guards, unless you spend $6 million for a point guard. So,
whoa,
I mean...
Apple.
I like the trust, and it's out of your control that he gets different injury, actually, right before the start of the season. Because if Keenan is playing at least close to his level that he displayed before, I think it's enough to meet Olympiacos' problems that they had.
I like how they solved Mustafa Fall's injury with Dante Hall. The addition of Dante Hall and Kostas Antetokounmpo for the Greek League, so you got depth for the center position. I like, you said already about Ward, I like that. And let's not forget this team was dominating the regular season last year. They were the number 1 seed, and obviously they lost that semifinal. But I think they've only built on top of what they already had, and hopefully Keenan Evans is going to be that missing piece. It's just it's just when someone starts getting injuries and they just repeat and repeat and repeat. This is where you get a bit, doubtful, I guess.
Tyson Ward, let's say Ntilikina, Dante Hall, Kostas Antetokounmpo. Do you recognize the pattern? What kind of fits all of them? What similarities do they all have?
What Tyson Ward, Ntilikina,
Ward, Hall, Ntilikina, Kostas Antetokounmpo.
Athleticism
and defense.
Yeah.
That was what Bartzokas was looking for. Also,
because you
faster pace.
Because you have Fournier and Vezenkov as your cornerstones, so you need athletic and defensive.
And he wants to play
guys.
faster as well. So that was his idea. Although, and when you look at the analytics, they had the third best offense, even with the, let's say, limitations that we recognize and everybody recognized in the semifinal. The defense was top 5. I don't know. It was just interesting. I mean, I like Tyson Ward a lot. I think it connects the forward position perfectly with Papanikolaou and Vezenkov and Peters. It was this missing piece of athleticism that they had. Not sure about the others though, but we'll see.
They saw that semifinal. Monaco just overpowered them. They were just too quick, too fast, too strong for most of the time there, and they understood that this is the thing we're missing. And you have the offense, Fournier, Vezenkov. You have the guys that can score next to them. You have a great offensive system, but that defensive part was missing around them.
The only part I don't like for them is pressure, because this is definitely going to be a lot of pressure for this team, especially with Bartzokas having his last year potentially, because he signed until the end of the season. So
Final Four is in Athens too. So
there's just a lot of the pressure, psychologically, if things don't go right. But usually for this team, it's a regular season winning team usually. So we'll see. But we're ranking. I don't know how we interpret power rankings, the most likely to win, I guess,
or maybe let's say at this point, how close they look.
So
trying to win the title.
And number 2.
Yeah, let's go number 2.
Rocket team.
Rocket team that won't make the Final Four according to all the GMs.
Not according to all the GMs, but according to many GMs. Most of the GMs, actually.
How does this make sense, guys? I don't understand.
I think everyone was affected by this Mike James saga. You're not sure what kind of approach he's taking to the next season. Maybe they were surprised that Monaco didn't make many moves in the market. There were some question marks. Jordan Loyle left. There are just some rumors in general about them. So maybe they feel that maybe they know something. And something is not clicking there.
So on and off the court. What kind of rumors you mean? Huh?
I don't know.
He can't say if he would say it.
When Donato says, when Donato starts his sentence by saying, I don't know.
I haven't heard anything.
He definitely knows.
I haven't heard anything specific.
I haven't heard, I don't know.
Just some rumors,
I haven't heard, I don't know.
But we are talking about the finalists of last year, a team that made it, made it to the final essentially, and added now Nemanja Nedovic instead of Jordan Lloyd. That's one change.
Let's start from Nikola Mirotic.
Nikola Mirotic. I go from top of the list, so that's why. But Nikola Mirotic is, probably, you said, the fourth position wasn't weak because they had Blossom Game and Diallo, probably kind of 2 forwards, let's say, 2 smaller forwards. But now they have Nikola Mirotic, a established EuroLeague.
And now we're good,
Yeah.
Okay, we had Blossom Game, Diallo. Now we're good with Mirotic.
But Blossom Game can still play next to Mirotic. He can play.
That's the thing. Diallo
back him up. This team is great. I just. Oh, Kavaris Hayes also was signed, which is a very nice backup to Daniel Theis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, I don't know, to me, Donatas Motiejunas would be a good fit to this center lineup that they have.
Yeah, very different from everyone. Yeah.
So it's just pity that he's about to leave the team because he's not on
Spalletti's
plans.
Yeah.
So, which is, I don't know, to me it's weird.
I think they need a guard, but just
You
for
do?
the depth.
Really? I don't know.
Let's see it with the Kalatis situation.
I mean, Kalatis is not about to stay there as well.
So I think they need a guard.
on his suitcases.
I think they need a
that
guard.
they trust Matthew Struzell a lot because he actually showed reasons to be confident about him as a backup point guard, playing for the French national team as well before he got injured.
I think
he
he
had some
would
big
have-
games last season as well.
He would have helped that French team a lot.
a lot.
A lot. So,
I'm still not very confident about Okobo as a key, okay, next best top scorer next to Mike James on the perimeter. Because he was not consistent. He didn't show this consistency. But I expect even bigger things from the Allen Blossom game because they were steadily improving their game. And playing next to Mirotic might ease their game as well, at least offensively. Kavaris Hayes as a backup center to Thijs is a good fit. So that's a solid team.
So yeah, quite a few questions about Monaco, but there were no questions about the number one team on our power ranking, and that is Panathinaikos Athens. And actually, all four of us put them first, without any question.
90% of the EuroLeague GMs that already were surveyed see them winning the EuroLeague. None is the player, the most mentioned player who they would start building the team from. He is also leading the candidate to win the MVP, according to the majority of the GMs. They replaced Lorenzo Brown with TJ Shorts, who was third in the MVP race last season.
Sounds crazy.
They replaced Wayne and Gabriel with Rashawn Holmes,
Two.
who is actually the majority of the GMs, at least currently, see him as the top NBA newcomer in the pool of Brandon Boston, Shake Milton, Dalen Horton-Tucker, Rashawn Holmes. They added Rogovopoulos and Toliopoulos.
Great shooters.
Crazy.
So,
really.
I mean,
They will have Marius Grigonis back, or
even if they don't, I
that
mean,
doesn't matter. But
they good.
Yeah.
They're good.
no, it's
Jerry Osman, it took half of the season for him to get into the rhythm. You saw the rhythm he produced in the Eurobasket and the
he could be
playoffs and
playing in
Final
the
Four.
NBA right now easily.
So the only question mark is probably Matthias Lazor, how long he'll be out. There are more concerns than optimism than it was before. Initially, when we saw him returning to the Final Four, we were like, oh, Matthias is back. Probably that's been a mistake. So, and if you're signing the guy like Rashawn Holmes for the salary that Rashawn Holmes is about to get, I mean, why you're spending so much for the guy if Lazor is coming back soon? So,
Exactly. That was my thinking when I heard the rumors about Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah.
It has to mean, something is not right with Matthias Lazor.
And Matthias Lazor is soul of that team. They needed him a lot. So.
They needed him a lot, but I just think that this roster is so incredibly stacked that it's just hard to fuck up really with this roster. And the question is maybe how everyone is going to be happy with the playing time. But
To me, the bigger question is how is TJ Shorts gonna look both on the offense and defense. I said this again with Donatas when we spoke. Because like you said, Paris knew how to hide TJ Short's let's say lack of size on the defensive end. Is Panathinaikos going to be able to do that? I'm not sure. And how generally that looks when you put in a guy like TJ Shorts, who had this whole core around him that he played with for 3-4 years. And now you put him in a situation where it's a completely different team with a lot of established leaders and names. That's another question I have. But otherwise, yeah, just too stacked to not put them number one.
Yeah, even if TJ Shorts doesn't perform, I mean,
it doesn't.
Lorenzo Brown didn't need to play much, last season. They didn't need his help. Okay, Kostas Lukas is declining. He's getting older, so you need more boost from the bench. But still, I mean, they have enough boosters on their team, I would say.
Mitoglu maybe is getting older as well, at least the way he looked
He
in the
actually had a
Eurobasket.
solid EuroLeague season, but this Eurobasket just went wrong.
Yeah.
So...
And also, Samo Durov, ole, ole, ole.
You just mentioned the guy who is like the fourth on his position rotation.
I mean, we forgot about Yurtseven, I think.
Yeah.
He's
like
Samadourov's
4%.
fifth big man.
Samadurov, I was just just for the
big
jokes.
man. The big man, he's like 7th or 8th.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
6th, maybe.
So who's fourth? Juancho or...
Lazor, Holmes, Yurtseven, Juancho, Mitoglu.
No, you mentioned something about fourth. I thought that you were
have
talking
a
about some
guys.
Fourth center.
Yeah.
If
he
just
can play
details,
both.
just
He's
details.
center,
He's
yeah.
more of a forward, but
But yeah, I feel like it's time for Pau to win again.
so
But that's the thing.
we just don't play the season, right? It's the Final Four in Athens in their
When
gym.
it happened, when we all had a clear front runner to win it all, and the team won everything. I don't remember.
It never happens.
I don't remember that.
The season is too long. There will be a lot of injuries. There will be even more additions. There will be even more coaching changes.
Dramas,
Maybe not.
shakeups, disappointments, Cinderella stories.
Very Lithuanian, like, season's gonna be long, it's gonna be hard, there's gonna be injuries.
It's suffering. And who wins at the end of the suffering? Šarūnas Jasikevičius. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next year's
It's
Power
true,
Rankings.
it's true. You're so right.
3-1 Paris.
Guys, if you wanna stay with us for the whole season, we'll actually be inspired. We are already inspired by the EuroBasket.
hyped up.
How we did the. Sorry, my voice is going. How we did those reactions right after the games. We'll implement some of this into this season. So don't just go to sleep right after the game is finished, because me and Donatas or me and Augustus or all three of us, we'll see how it goes. We'll get down here sometimes after some key games, and we'll actually
We will
talk
do
about
some
it.
posting on our community, so you have
Yeah.
to make sure to subscribe to Basket News channel on YouTube,
Yeah.
because before these watch parties, we're gonna post something on.
Yeah, we'll let you know that we're on
Yeah.
standby, and also put the notification bell on so that you actually see when those videos are out.
Yes, sir.
And that's all.